Independent artificial intelligence labs are securing billions of dollars in venture capital right now. To justify that kind of money, they are promising investors systems that approach human-level superintelligence. The technical goal is something called first principles reasoning. Instead of simply calculating the most statistically likely next word to finish a sentence, the machine is supposed to build a genuine structural understanding of how the physical world operates. Ask a standard text model how an engine works, and it pieces together vocabulary about fuel and sparks. A reasoning model does the physics. Swap petroleum for ethanol, and it calculates the thermal stress on those specific pistons, predicting if the block would crack. Developing that level of digital intuition requires massive banks of processors running continuously for months. To cover those computing costs and eventually return a profit to their backers, independent labs have to charge their users high subscription fees. Their entire survival depends on convincing the market that deep, mechanical reasoning is a premium commodity worth paying for. Then, tech giants like Google and Meta spend hundreds of millions training highly capable models of their own, releasing them to the public for free. They frame this as a benevolent push for open-source technology. Anyone can download the code, tweak it, and integrate it into their own software without paying a dime. Big tech can easily absorb this cost using existing advertising revenue. Startups cannot afford to give away their primary product. By flooding the market with free alternatives, tech giants cut off the primary revenue streams of their emerging competitors. Most companies do not need an AI to calculate thermal stress on an engine block. The vast majority of daily white-collar work involves drafting internal HR policies, writing legal correspondence, or summarizing meetings. For those everyday tasks, basic word prediction is entirely adequate. Even computer programming, which seems highly complex, relies heavily on recognizable syntax patterns that simple, open-source models handle with ease. This chart compares the processing power required for different types of work. The massive computational overhead of first principles reasoning towers over the relatively low threshold needed to write a standard email or script. When the free, dumbed-down models easily cross the threshold of being good enough for office work, the highly intelligent models built by independent labs become a niche luxury. Releasing an open-source model effectively sets the market price for artificial intelligence to zero. Customers accustomed to free tools refuse to pay premium subscription fees. Without that subscription revenue, independent labs cannot show financial growth. When growth stalls, the venture capital they need to keep their servers running evaporates. There are a few fields where basic text prediction fails. Architecture requires a deep structural understanding of spatial physics to calculate load-bearing walls and ensure thermal efficiency. Architects might gladly pay for an independent reasoning model, but tech giants have already captured the millions of casual users who only need help formatting a spreadsheet. The quality of the intelligence often matters less than where it lives. Users gravitate toward the AI that is already waiting for them inside the tools they use every day. This map outlines the digital territories that giants already control. Microsoft owns the modern Office suite, Google dominates search and email, Meta tracks social sentiment, and Amazon controls retail. To use an independent labs AI, you have to open a separate browser tab, paste in your data, generate a response, and copy it back to your workspace. Native integration removes that friction entirely. A smarter, standalone algorithm cannot compete with an adequate algorithm baked directly into the software ecosystem people are already forced to use. Answering millions of daily queries requires running thousands of servers simultaneously, creating an enormous financial and political burden regarding energy consumption. Processing these computations happens inside industrial-scale data centers that draw massive amounts of electricity. Big tech is now pushing edge AI. Instead of sending a question to a server in the cloud, you download one of their smaller, open-source models directly to your smartphone or laptop, and it runs locally. They market this as a win for data transparency and privacy. The secondary effect is that every time the AI runs on your local hardware, the tech giant offloads the computation costs and the electricity bill onto you. Championing open-source models appears generous, but it is a calculated maneuver to shift infrastructure costs away from the tech giants while bankrupting the independent labs that still rely on expensive cloud computing. Historically, tech markets do not sustain a wide field of independent competitors. They consistently converge toward a duopoly. We saw this in the ride-sharing battle between Uber and Lyft, and in the operating system war between Windows and Mac. Dominance is rarely achieved through a single perfect product. It is achieved by controlling the platform where all other software must operate, outlasting the competition through sheer scale. Early personal computing presented itself as an open, welcoming frontier before steadily locking users into rigid ecosystems. The artificial intelligence industry is following the exact same path. The surviving companies won't necessarily be the ones that build the smartest reasoning engine. They will be the ones that own the infrastructure.